So here's my photographer horror story. Hi guys, my name is Brittany Ray. I am a Central Florida based wedding and portrait photographer. I just kind of wanted to take you guys along on this journey. I've been doing photography since 2015. I dabbled in newborn for a bit, found that was just a bit overwhelming for me. Still do lots of families and I do lifestyle, so I will do newborn sessions, but more like natural in the home, not so much traditional with the posings and the bean bags and all that stuff. Wedding and portraits, engagements, couple sessions, that is my passion. Now, I actually got lost down the rabbit hole on YouTube watching photographer horror stories, like those things that you can laugh about now, but like in the situation, like you were literally peeing your pants. Yeah, those. I wanted to start out my first video telling a photography horror story. So this was my first session ever. Yes, my first paid session. This would happen. So the first session that I ever had that was paid was a Smash Cake 1 year session. For those of you who are Florida photographers, you know this location. We were doing it at a lake called Lake Eola. It's downtown Orlando. So we did the session. Now let me back up a little bit. Prior to this session, I had just done some research on photography because I was really like getting heavier into it. And I found that you should put your camera in RAW. So I learned about RAW and why you should shoot in RAW because it allows more flexibility when editing images. So I was just like super excited. I felt like I was a professional, but I knew something about RAW images, but not like 100% like what it meant to shoot in RAW. So the fact that I switched my camera to RAW is going to be very important in this story. So anyways, so I switched my camera to RAW. I have my 50mm 1.4. Like I'm just like so professional, like rolling in. First paid session, like I'm excited. So we go to the session, we do the session. Everything looks good to me in my camera. I mean, now looking back at it, it wasn't a horrible session, but my exposure triangle was a little, let's say I didn't really know what an exposure triangle was. I knew about f-stop and shutter speed at the time, but I just didn't know how to correlate the three together. I don't know that I really understood what ISO was. Y'all, this was... So we do the session. Photos look great to me in the camera. I give the client a turnaround time. Literally had no contract, nothing. Just shot the photos. She gave me the money. I thought everything was great. As a photographer, I don't know how you guys are, but like as soon as I get home from a session, I'm like all excited. Like I want to get my photos. It feels like I just went shopping and I'm going to come home and like try on all my clothes. That's how it feels to me. That's the only way I can describe it. I get home and at the time I edited photos in the Photos app. The Photos app on my Mac computer. The Photos app, like the app that comes with the computer. Like that's what I was editing photos on. Okay, yeah. At the time, the app did not support RAW images. I did not know that because I did not know that. It does, by the way, support RAW images now, but I don't use that app to edit photos, obviously. I import the photos and then I noticed right away that something was wrong. Like wrong. All my photos looked totally corrupted. And I was just like, wait, this is not possible. So I start freaking out a little bit, but then I think to myself, oh, like I think it's because they're in RAW. Right away I realized that maybe this program doesn't support RAW. Okay, cool, everything's fine. I'm just gonna re-upload. I had Photoshop at the time and I knew Photoshop did support RAW, so that wasn't a problem, but there was a problem. When I uploaded the photos to the Photos application, there's a little checkbox at the top that says delete photos after import. I had that checkbox selected. So at this time, I am pooping my pants multiple times, walking back and forth the house, like trying to figure out what I'm gonna tell this client. This is my first paying client, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my business is over. Day one of its existence, my business is over. I'm trying to think of some crazy story to tell the client, like my house blew up, I got robbed and all my camera stuff is gone. Like, I'm freaking out. And I was like super close to calling the client. Why don't I just Google, like maybe it's possible that there's a way to fix this. So I get on Google and God was like looking down on me, like he had my back, because there's a program, I can't remember what the name of the program is, but I'm sure there's multiple programs that allows you to recover lost data from SD cards, like when you accidentally delete them. Oh my gosh. So I buy this program. It was like $75 or something. The session, I only charged them like $40, so essentially I did the session for free. But honestly, buying that program was 100% worth my reputation as a photographer. It worked, guys. It worked. It saved my life. I get the pictures back. I upload them into Photoshop and I edit from there. Photos were safely delivered to the client. Everything worked out. Thank God. That story hurts my heart every time. Like, it hurts my heart every time. I honestly feel like shooting in RAW, like, I think that traumatized me a little bit. So I think a little bit after that, I didn't shoot in RAW for a little bit after that. But then after, like, you know, some more experience and doing some more research, I felt more comfortable. For a while, I shot in both JPEG and RAW, but I realized that was just taking up a lot of space on SD cards, on hard drives. It just wasn't necessary to shoot in both. So now I only shoot in RAW. Everything is fine. I do use Lightroom to edit now. And just, again, doing research is super important when you're going into the photography industry. Do as much research as possible. So you just know what you're getting into. Prepare for whatever you're doing. That was my photographer horror story. Like, I literally deleted all of the images that I took. I plan on expanding this channel, just talking about my experiences as a photographer. I want to know some of your photography horror stories, so please share them down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys.